Bonjour everyone, Madame Bleu here. Welcome back to my channel. So this video is part 2 to part 1. Part 1 is where I did the silk press, and here in part 2 we're going to be applying the extensions. Now if you have not checked out part 1, the link will be below. Make sure you check out part 1 first. And we are applying 2 bundles of my hair extensions. She got 20 inches and she dyed them black, and she decided that she wanted them glued in. Some people call this a quick glue, some people call it a glue in. But yeah, we're gonna glue in the tracks with her real hair. Now I decided to straighten as I go. You want to be careful when you do that because you do want the glue to actually set before you start yanking on the tracks. So it is sped up here, but I did use minimal tension and I went really slow when straightening it to make sure I didn't pull the hair as I was straightening it. And as you can see, we doubled the tracks, so we glued the tracks together and then applied them just to make sure I could get both bundles in. And I just like to double tracks, it's faster that way, and then make sure we can get all the hair in. And we did use all of the bundles except literally 2 little pieces. And if you notice, I never go all the way to the edges because 1, edges matter. You don't want to put glue on the edges, and 2, you want to make sure they have the ability to put their hair up in a high ponytail if they want to, low ponytail, half up, half down, without having any tracks showing. So you want to make sure you leave, I usually leave like 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch out on the perimeter, just depending on how full their perimeter is, but you never want to go all the way to the edge. Now technically you do not want to put any tracks higher than this area right here. So I believe after this I am going to comb down her hair and see how it's blending and where else I want to add tracks. But if you add them up too high, you won't be able to cover them well. So you do not want to go up higher than this point. put any more tracks at. You can still lay them on the side, just don't go to the back. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm putting them on the side and a little bit in the back where it will not be seen. And how you determine how many tracks you need, it really just depends on the density of the person's hair. Her hair is pretty thick, so we wanted to make sure that we had full coverage. When her hair is combed, or in general, when the hair is combed down over the extension hair, you do not want there to be an obvious line of demarcation of where the real hair stops and the extensions start. You want it to be seamless, so that's how you'll kind of tell if you need to add more tracks and where you need to add them. So here again, I'm just combing it all out and checking to see how her hair is compared to the extension hair and if it's blending how I want it to blend. And I'm showing her right here how I don't think it's really blended and how one side seems to have, it was looking like her real hair was thicker on one side, although it's the middle part. So she had to put on her glasses because she can't see, and we agreed that we needed to add more tracks. So I ended up adding two single tracks on either side. So I took apart the tracks that we had doubled and added 2 single tracks on both sides. And I didn't mention this earlier, but I blow dry the hair once I apply the glue, just to kind of speed up the drying process, because you don't want, I hate when the glue's like all runny and it just takes forever to dry. So I always dry it a little bit with the blow dryer just to get it a little tacky before applying it. And I did single tracks because sometimes double tracks can be a little bulky at the top, and you want the top to be as flat as possible. That is why I split the tracks and made them single tracks before applying them to the top of her head. And here we're doing a little face framing, or some people call it slide cutting, to blend her hair with the extensions and just to give her some layers around her face, so it's just not one big blunt long piece of hair. She didn't like that. So some people do like that, just all one length, no layers at all, but she didn't want that. And here I'm just applying a wax stick to her natural hair. It helps to blend the natural hair with the extensions so good. I do have a video on that on how to blend leave out, and I do the same technique with everyone, like the same products I use. I always use a wax stick after applying all the other products because it's going to make the blend seamless. And And this is the final product, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, family, or whoever. And make sure to check out my other videos. And thank you for watching. TTYL.